Oh, good morning. So this is my wake up for day 14 and my 10 o'clock check-in because I've been moving and I'm at 7.2 miles so far on the day. And so I really wanted to get to the Paradise Valley Cafe for some food, for some Wi-Fi. So I'm still 7.5 miles out. I started at mile 137. I needed 14.8 to get to the cutoff, and then that's another mile from there. So 15.8, almost 16 miles to do. And the hard thing for me was time. You can do the miles, but you need time to do it. They close at 3. So even like for realistically to rest for a minute, do the things that I need to do, I need an hour. So I got to be there at 2. So that's all the little math issues I was running into, and why one of the reasons I just kind of jumped out of bed and got going. You can hear the flapping behind me. That's me drying out my rain fly and my tarp, but thank goodness everything else was dry. My tent was bone dry. This wind is the other thing. Like, I love it right now because it's 10 o'clock, it's blue skies, but it actually looked like it was going to rain this morning on me. So I wasn't too sure I wouldn't be walking in the rain. I'm thankful for it because it's keeping me cool. It's allowing me to move fast. But on the other hand, I really am tired of listening to the wind, I gotta say. So, but it's a good day so far. I'm really happy with my mileage to this point, and I think I'm going to actually make it in time. Okay, I'm back on the road. It's 10:27, so 27-minute break to dry out my stuff, eat, and rehydrate. So I have 7.5 miles to go, and it's 10:30. Smoking the Bandit. Long way to go and a short time to get there. So here I am, just moseying along, kind of cruisy. Finally got past the ups at 11. It's like 11:30 now, and I'm on the sun side of the hill, and I start feeling like moisture hitting the back of my leg, like water droplets, and I'm like, that's weird. Everything's dry now. Sun's been on it for a few hours. It keeps happening. I kind of shift my pack, and I get like a dose of water down my side. So I'm like, oh, you have water, you idiot. So I took a look. I had one of my leaders that I got out at last break at 10 o'clock, and I apparently didn't put the cap back on all the way. So it was on, but slowly over time it had been dumping out. Through the top is like I'm hustling and jostling, as I'm sure you can see in the camera. So that was my last liter. I'm down to 750 mils, a little bit less now. So yeah, still that cafe, I think, is the only place to get water between here and there. So keeping on. Oh, okay, 12 o'clock check-in, 10.8 miles, but I've had an up since I last talked to you. I'd be shocked if it was less than 500 feet, and I'm still trying to be conservative. So I think I've gone over 1,000 feet of ascent today. But we're getting there. It's 3 point something miles to the cutoff, so I'm making good time. It's still about 12 o'clock. I just wanted to point out that I am very confused right now. So this is eye level. That's a huge canyon. Usually 3.5 miles from anywhere, you can visualize where you're going. I don't have the foggiest idea. And then over on this side, it was more canyons, draws, kind of looking like it was further out in the distance, and then like along this ridge. So I have no idea where I'm going. And just to help you with my confusion, so I'm on the other side of that knoll I was walking on top of, and do you see anything within 3.5 miles? I don't either. Oh yeah, that big tall mountain, that's Mount San Jacinto. That's where I'm headed next. Yay. It is 12:52 and I finally see where I'm going. Very excited. 1 mile road walk, just about done. I am looking forward to that burger. It is 1:15. I'm here. Okay, I just got done at the Paradise Valley Cafe. Took a picture of that burger. That thing tasted amazing. So I did that 14.8 miles in 7 hours. I'm pretty happy because that was a lot of uphill. So I walked down the mile to the Paradise Valley Cafe, and there was a trail angel there, the same guy that gave me a ride that first day into Julian. His name's Ghost. And I saw him and immediately grabbed him to see if he'd be want to give me a ride back that mile. Okay, it is post Paradise Valley Cafe, and it was paradise. And my next stop is in Idyllwild, which I have to climb that mountain with snow on it to about 8,000 feet, and then I drop down into the town of Idyllwild. I am 27 miles away from the spur down to the town. So I have 2 days to do that 27 miles plus however long the spur is, and I think it's another 6. Good evening, everybody. So here's camp for tonight. And it's a nice change because I can sit out here and I can talk outside so you're not looking at me at some weird angle. What a huge difference it makes to not have to throw all your stuff in your tent and then get organized. So I've got like my sun shirt is drying out, my socks are airing out, and believe me, my socks needed airing out. Okay, good evening. It is the end of day 14. It's 5:30 right now. I did 14 and a half miles to Paradise Valley Cafe, and I did it in 7 hours. And there was a lot of up, and it's kind of funny because I actually misread. I was just kind of looking at the topographical terrain, and it looked to me like there was a green shading like I was going into marsh, so I thought I was going down quite a bit. Turns out there were 3 drops into canyons and then climbs back out of those canyons. So I'm over 1,000 feet for the day in that time frame too, I'm pretty sure. It was really good. I was super motivated to get there because, yes, the burger, and I was joking about that, but in all seriousness, from that flowed my plans for the next 2 days. So standing here now, I'm at 17 miles and change for the day, 17.5, I think. So that sets me up for the next 2 days, which back where the highway crossed, I had 27.4 miles to go. This is to the town of Idyllwild. Idyllwild is up in the Mount San Jacinto area. So, I'm going to climb. I'm at like 5,000 feet now. I'll be going up and down a lot because that's what the trail does. But where I get off trail to go down to town is like 8,800 feet, 8,800 feet. So there's some significant climb over those 27 miles. I decided to try to do it in 2 days, and then I'm taking a 0 in town. I'm getting a hotel room. So I'll talk more about that when I get there, but that's why today was so important, was because I was trying to set up for the next 2 days. Finally had cell service. I haven't had a lot in the last three days. So I got to talk to Kathy for a little bit, and she's really helped me out a lot. She got a supply box out to me. She got the hotel room set up. So I'm all set now. Not only was it a really good mileage day for me, it was also a good day. It got warm shortly after I talked about the wind, I think. It still got a little bit of a breeze, but the difference, not having to jump into my tent and having it raining, it's huge for morale and everything else. But Paradise Valley really does it nice. They make you feel welcome. I think most hikers chose to sit outside just because we haven't had showers in days. But it was super pleasant. So, I mean, on the spot service and very accommodating. And they had a spigot out front, so they let you fill up on water because there's not a lot of water. Like that water carry I did today was from the time I left camp until I got to Paradise Valley. I carried my water. And I took my last sip in the parking lot of Paradise Valley. I'm a little dehydrated, so I'm going to fix that tonight. I drank a ton of iced tea and a ton of water there. So lots of hiking now, and I'm excited. The terrain's changing a little bit. There's already some pine trees, and I should be getting into forest, and I'm ready for forest. That's, as people that know me know, that that's where I prefer to hike, is in forests. So that's where I'm headed. One sad thing for equipment. Yesterday, I somehow developed a leak into my air mattress, so I now have a slow leak. I've had it before. This pad is excellent. It's got maybe 6 or 7 patches in it already. So when I get to town, that'll be one of my chores, is trying to salvage this pad and get another patch on. So, but other than that, all the other equipment's working well. I think the thing that's getting the most abuse is my feet, but hey, what do you expect? So I know what I forgot. It's still the end of day 14, but this is my view outside my tent itself. So got to the roadway, and just as I did, so it's basically a highway that runs to Paradise Valley, and there's really nothing else around. So I step out, and here comes a CHP, and he pulls over right past me. I'm like, oh, that's nice, because I was planning on hitchhiking. So I'm like, okay, whatever. And there was one other guy there with me named Jolly. And he and I start headed down the road, and then the officer takes off and starts coming towards Paradise Valley, the direction we're going, and goes around the bend and stops. So we're hitchhiking until I see him. I'm like, hey, cops, and tell him. And so we just end up walking the mile to Paradise Valley. Now, keep in mind, this is after the 14.5 or whatever, so that's bonus miles. So 8 got, and there was a camper there. Peter's his name, and he gives rides to PCTs. They were going to Idyllwild, but he's got like 400 watts because he works 40 hours a week out of his van. So he works full time, living the van life. And he had heard me ask some hikers if Paradise Valley Cafe had outlets, because I really needed a recharge on one of my batteries. And he heard me, and he goes, I got 400 watts, man. I got a fast charger. He goes, here, let me go set that up. So he went with me to the van, and that's what he did. So I got a full charge on my bigger, more reliable battery. And then he was taking a crew to Idyllwild. So that was just out of the kindness of his heart. So got that done. And then there was a lady there who was very enthusiastic about PCT hikers. And then she was very enthusiastic about a bunch of other stuff, if you catch my meaning. But she started handing out these little cherry pies to everybody, like boxes of them. So we split them up, and so I'm going to enjoy that tonight. She's definitely had some mental health stuff going on, but very sweet lady. So I was just wrapping up, getting my water, kind of resigning myself, having to walk the mile back to trail, when the trail angel that first picked me up, Ghost, pulled in, dropped off some hikers there, and it was just, couldn't have been any perfect timing. I asked if he'd be willing, and of course he is. So small donation later, and I make it to the trail. But there you go. That's Paradise Valley. I will talk to you later.